So your first foray into continuous delivery was 2011, you said, and then you begin to
Yeah.
found less works in particular shortly after that. So you've done a number of different less adoptions in your less career. Thinking about those adoptions, is there anyone in particular that sticks out as perhaps being your favorite, or your, and maybe it isn't right to have a favorite, but the one that really sticks out in your memory as something which was good for you and for
Um,
others?
well, it's hard to say. I mean, obviously, it's hard to pick one. Obviously, the first one was had a huge impact on me, and I that's the one that I spent a lot of time digesting. Obviously, writing the case study that was 2015, and at a big software company in Germany. And there we scaled from 3 to 5 teams, and also had a chance at the beginning to create a new setup of those 3 teams. So I used all the knowledge I had at that time to to create a very less like setup, and to see basically how less could work and how we could move over the time to less. And was my first experience with that, and I really really liked it. I also had a chance to work on one of maybe the biggest less adoption in Europe at BMW, together with other less trainers. Craig was there, Victor was there, Greg, and obviously Mark Regenser, and also Konstantin, who now is a trainer and still works from BMW. And it was a great experience to work together with multiple trainers, and work on such a less huge adoption with hundreds of teams in a very complex environment, where not only software but also hardware is produced, or this software was integrated into cars. um, and um, yeah, that was definitely another highlight of mine. But to be honest, I mean, I think any kind of newer experience seems to top the ones before. So lately, I was doing one team less adoption, which is Scrum, as we know. But is like using this knowledge and utilize them, and with all the new knowledge that I've learned in the past from the other less adoptions, and experimenting with many different techniques that I learned over the time, like you mentioned, Goiko, not only specification by example, but impact mapping, and using those things. Yeah, it's a lot of fun doing. You mentioned the sprint remote review bazaars. Those are amazing things to experiment, and it seems to get better and better. Like every new adoption and every new product development endeavor that I join seems to get better and better with the knowledge that I gain, and with the fun experiments that I'm trying to introduce and make.
So what you're saying there, Robert, is you're getting better with age.
Yeah, exactly.
Maturing well. I will all those brilliant trainers you mentioned, I'll put their websites or LinkedIn details or Twitter, etc., into the notes for the show, so people can look them up and learn a bit more about them. And also, the BMW case study was released quite recently, and I say quite recently,
Yeah.
this being February of 2022. So I'll also pop a link to that into the show notes, so people can give that a read. So it's as you said, huge less adoption. mean, roughly how many teams were involved in that?
Well, I think by the time I was there were like um, around 18 or something, I guess. But as far as I know now, it involves over 100.
That's a mind-boggling number. We've got Constantine is coming on to the podcast in a few weeks, I think. So we'll get. I'll be drilling him for a bit of information on that too.
Yeah,
So brilliant.
cool.
Thank you. So, what was your favorite lesson option? Effectively, all of them.
Yeah,
It's like, you can't have a favorite child, can you? So I
exactly.
know where
Can
you're
you?
coming from. But you'd never say that each new child's a bit better than the last. I don't think that would go down very well with the kids. Right.